Yes, I want to make making a video right now. A little, it's not quite a video, but a little recording here. Um, Excuse the audio quality. Running it through my video camera. Um, I want to state something and speak on the situation with Donald Trump and in this voting situation. Uh, People sitting back and saying that Donald Trump is racist, and I'm getting kind of tired of hearing it. It looks strange. Why voting for Donald? Not necessarily voting for Donald Trump, but why aren't going out for Biden, and why aren't you voting for Biden and all this, and why don't you vote and all this kind of stuff. Uh, the thing of it is, you sit down and talk about voting for Joe Biden, and I wanted to ask people. I asked people, and they can never answer me. What in the hell has Donald Trump did? What has he done? What has he done? What has he said? Where people are concerned, where they're calling him this racist, making him sound like he's the second coming of Adolf damn Hitler. Where is this coming from? Everybody's screaming, "Oh, he's racist, racist, racist!" Every time you say, "Oh man, he's racist." Where is this coming from? I mean, what has he done? I can't think of nothing the man said that shows racist. But I know where Biden has shown his bigotry. Even his running mate said he was a racist. And going up against, I guess that was 1972 or the busing back in the 70s, early 70s. And she said how I would have put her out, and all her people who were in the Democratic Party who were black, and whoever everybody mentioned their names. So, but I'm saying, what has Trump said? What has Trump did? In fact, I'm seeing more that really Trump has reached out. Actually, he's came up with his little the program for prisoners, and came up with the little whatever things. He just come up with all these little different programs, the Platinum Plan, which Ice Cube was talking about, and came up with all these different things. So, but you could sit down and say, "Oh, they're nothing burgers and whatever." But at least he's throwing us a bone. At least he's reaching out. At least he's being specific and talking to us and reaching out to us. What the hell does the Democratic Party do? Black, brown, getting all vague with their names and shit. They're not really speaking to us. Really, they haven't really spoken to us. Really dealt with us, and along the lines of really being specific. All this black and brown bullshit. Tired of fucking hearing it. So. And that thing about the Mexicans, the only thing people can bring up is the thing that was geared towards the Mexicans, wasn't even us. And that they're making that reach. If he said that about the Mexicans, you can imagine what he felt. I'm not going through that. I'm not jumping that hoop. I'm not going through it. All right. But you want to sit down and say what somebody said. So far as what somebody said, that was geared to the Mexicans. I said, tell me one thing that Trump said specifically to black people. What the hell has Trump said specifically to black people? Trump hasn't said nothing specifically to us. Trump hasn't said shit specifically to us. But I know who has targeted us and put us in a derogatory manner, and spoken to us, and spoken about our race, and spoken about us in a derogatory fashion. Joe Biden. Joe Biden has. He's spoken about us in a derogatory manner. When he gave his little speech, what was it? Up there in the Congress? I mean, the Senate. I guess he was a senator at the time, and he sat up there and basically called us predators, said super predators. These super predators, and they're gonna come in and they're gonna take on our sons and kill our sons and go and rape our daughters and rape our mothers, and they're gonna come in and kill the family pet and all. This guy just sat up and said all this horrific shit. He said all this horrific shit about us. And I love the these people are beyond the pale. They're beyond the pale. Oh yeah, I like that little code speech. We're beyond the pale. Yeah, I get it, Joe. We're beyond white. Yeah, we are beyond white. Black, our skin is dark. We're beyond the pale. I got that fucking one. you know, and he said predators. And I'm going to ask you, well, he didn't call us animals. Yes, he did call us animals. Joe Biden called us animals. Hillary Clinton called us animals. She called us she called them these super predators. Called your children super predators. Yeah, these super predators. And I'm going to give you this. When you, psychologically, when you mention a predator, what the hell do you think of when you mention a predator? What in the hell do you think of when you mention predator? You think of an animal. When I hear somebody says predator, I think of animals. I think of coyotes. I think of wolves. I think of foxes. I think of hyenas. I think of lions and tigers. These clawed, fang-toothed, vicious creatures going around preying on other animals to eat them and tear them apart and all this kind of stuff. And then most of the time, especially with coyotes and stuff like that, what do you do with animals of prey generally? These are basically parasitic animals. It's considered like they feast off of the other entities and other beings. They feast off them. They use them to kill and feed off of them. So basically, what do you do in this predatorial situation? What do you do with these things that are predatorial, that are vicious and mean and predatorial? When you have these predatory animals, what do mostly white people consider doing? They consider, most of these guys consider, especially have problems with coyotes, you consider basically using a gun to deal with predatory animals, killing them, locking them up, caging them, in which they did. Kill them, lock them up, and cage them. And that's what Joe Biden got up there and mouthed about. Now, to sit down and say, well, racism start with Joe Biden, no, but it damn sure didn't start with Donald Trump. Everybody, well, never seen no racism like this. I said, well, I guess you never heard of Jim Crow, I guess. We never seen racism like this in America. Well, I guess you never ran across Jim Crow and some other garbage that's going on in our past history then. So, it's just, to sit down and hear this, it just really, they sit down and just constantly saying how this man is, this like he's the next second coming of Adolf Hitler. And I sit back and look at Joe Biden. I said, now y'all want to sit back and get mad about Breonna Taylor and the murders that are happening here and what have you. I said, the racism, the dehumanization of black people have been set. The die has been cast a long time ago. The die was cast when the first man and woman showed up here in chains in the United States. The die was cast for that. The die was cast a long time ago. So this doesn't start with Trump. The racism doesn't start with Donald Trump. Oh my God, the racism with Trump. It doesn't stop and hasn't started with Donald Trump. It's not going to stop after he's gone. It's going to continue on. I say, if one thing, Biden, through his crime bill legislation, have at least backed it up, strengthened it, and fortified it, and shored it up. He shored it up with that crime bill, and basically gave those guys, those police officers, 100,000 plus police officers they hired, gave them marching orders, put hate in your heart, and gave them marching orders. He gave them marching orders. And by giving his little speech about us being predators, and we're going to come and we're going to kill their sons and murder their sons, and we're going to rob their sons and rape their wives and all this other good stuff. These horrible things, and then called us predators, these super predators, and they're beyond the pale, of course, being black. And and then telling them pretty much to put these new 100 and something thousand strong police officers, giving them the marching orders to go down and bring this community to yield, bring this black community to yield, bring it to heel, put it under heel. Giving those orders and sending them out there and giving them the orders to do this to us. It's almost like, it was horrible. And to basically say that, and you want to sit down and talk about a culture. The culture wasn't started with Donald Trump. Well, Donald Trump starting up and keeping up the culture. No. Joe Biden started this culture off. He started this culture of abuse off. It started with Joe Biden. if you want to look at all of what's going on now with the drug raids and everything else, it started at that time, and he gave them the marching orders and put the hatred in their heart. Let loose the wrath of God and put hatred in your heart, and hit these Negroes with extreme prejudice. And that's what basically the marching orders that was given. That was the marching orders by Joe Biden, Joseph Biden, that was given when he made that speech up there. The white folks in this country heard it, and gave him the power, gave him the money and the means to go do it. Now you have to think. He gave his little speech, gave him their marching orders, went out and got 100,000+ officers strong. They had this stuff in there. Well, go in and rout them out and go after them and hit them hard. These are some predatory. These people are animals. They're animals. They're like Nino Brown from New Jack City on steroids. Let's go. Let's get them. And they went and did that. They went and they all these years, and it's about have to be hundreds of thousands since that time. Hundreds of thousands of black people thrown behind bars on drug crimes, and you have to think she's not the Breonna Taylor is not the only one. There's had to be droves of hundreds of other houses they broke in and shot people. There was a girl up in Detroit. Little girl, they broke in the house and shot this little 7-year-old girl in the head and killed her. A SWAT team breaking in for the same thing, the same thing with Breonna Taylor, a drug raid, and shot a little 7-year-old girl in the head. The cop wound up walking after 2 trials. They put him through 2 trials. There was a hung jury in both cases and let him go. It was in Detroit. And they just have basically gave him these marching orders. And the thing you have to think, well, oh man, those officers, and I know what you're thinking, well, those officers were hired a long time ago. Those officers were hired a long time ago. No, here's the thing. You want to sit down and talk about a culture. A culture's not made in 4 goddamn years. A culture's not made in 4 damn years. A culture's not made up in 4 damn years. It takes time to develop a culture. And that culture was set when Joe Biden was set way before Joe Biden, but Joe Biden, again, like I said, reinforced it, backed it up, supported it, and gave it an extra kick in the ass to get it stuck, keep things rolling. And damn it, he did damn sure do that, keep things rolling. And we have hundreds of thousands of people, at least probably a good damn near 200,000 people behind bars because of this man's policy. And his little buddy, his little sidekick, Kamala Harris, has done her own little dirt too in keeping things rolling, and is a follower of his, I assume, looks like. Well, basically, that mentality of dehumanization, that mentality of dehumanization where black people are concerned, was basically, handed down. It was given the marching orders, handed down, whatever, and those cops heard that, and those cops ran on that, and those cops heard the speech. We got it, sir, whatever, commands given, went out as rookie cops. They hit the streets all over the country, 100 and some odd thousand strong, flush with cash and weaponry, and the latest and state-of-the-art armaments, that they can be given them. That's not, really, there's probably some of it military grade stuff. And went on the streets and basically went on the attack. And been on the attack ever since, up to the point of Breonna Taylor and this young man that died here recently, which they're having riots about in Philadelphia. And this culture has been basically, that culture was supercharged by Joe Biden. And this crime bill was further back and given a kick in the butt to keep moving on and doing what it's done over so many years of dehumanization and just really injustices to black people, throughout the Americas. So, and I look at that, he's done this. And basically, you have to consider that a lot of those people they put in place, a lot of these people they put in place, they didn't stay rookie cops forever. My friends, they didn't stay rookie cops forever. These people are now commanders. They're now police chiefs. They're not police chiefs. They're now police commanders. They're now police sergeants. They're now lieutenants and what have you in the police force. These people hold high rank and command. There's probably still about half of them still out practicing policing and are in the upper echelons, in the upper grades, in the upper positions and offices in the police departments. And basically, if you want to sit down and cry about any culture that was set, the corrupt culture that went in and slaughtered and killed and brutalized Breonna Taylor and attempted to wipe out her boyfriend and all this other stuff, then fine. You have to put that at Joe Biden's feet, because that mentality and those people were and the marching orders continue to go on down. I don't think you're a fool if you think that they stopped at some point. Oh, well, that was then, and these cops are off the force and retired now. And a lot of them turned it into a career. There have to be about probably up in the thousands of those cops still out there in high commanding positions. They're out there and they're still holding high commanding positions. So for me to go and vote for Joe Biden, you sit down telling me, when you sit down and weigh it out, well, who's the worst racist? Well, to me, Joe Biden is the worst the worst out of the two evils, as far as I'm concerned. Joe Biden is basically a race. He has proven to be a racist. He's got a record. In other words, he's got a track record. Donald Trump doesn't. He's got a track record. Joe Biden, throughout the years, he has a track record. From what he did with busing back in the days, to befriending Klan members who was in political office, to the crime bill, And there might be some things I am not really, and there's some things I haven't even seen, that I haven't looked at or seen of him. But I remember that speech in the crime bill, and I didn't like it then. I didn't like it now. Thinking back on it and seeing footage of it now, I don't like it. It was evil. It was bad. It was messed up. It was evil. I'm supposed to believe he's a changed man. Well, I believe in redemption when it comes to family, friends, neighbors, and whomever else. But this fellow, I don't know. Politicians and evil individuals like this, no, I don't have redemption. So basically, I pass on voting for him. I basically, pass, and I'm giving you my reason on why. And anybody want to hear this, you think about it. Some of you out there, especially African Americans in certain rough neighborhoods or whatever, probably have friends and family members who are family members, and people you care about who were basically caught up in those caught up in drug situations and what have you. And it's over drugs. It's not that they killed anybody, murdered somebody, not even robbed somebody. They're out there kids were trying to make a hustle. So basically, and a lot of them weren't even gun-toting individuals, and all that. So basically, a lot of these people's lives have been destroyed. It tickled me the time they had the women down at the border. Oh, they're taking away the mothers from the kids. Well, basically, when they went in and some sister was trying to make a few bucks from the drug trade, or selling some weed or selling whatever, trying to take care of kids, they didn't mind snatching her away, trying to make it and survive. Didn't mind snatching her away from her family, throwing her in prison for 10 or so many years, some mandatory minimum time, 10 or more years or whatever behind bars, and for some, with the mandatory minimum laws they call them. Didn't mind snatching them up and throwing them behind bars for a period of time. So, but they didn't have no tears for those sisters when they were throwing them in prison. But they had plenty of tears for the people at the border. But no tears for her. So basically trying to survive. Doing it to try to survive. Not a matter of greed, trying to survive. So they never had any sympathy for us. Never had no concern. They were sitting there worried about what they call the Mexicans who are coming across the border. Yes, some of them are involved with gangs and whatever. But as far as I'm concerned, he's just stating the truth. Everybody coming across that border is not all, a lot of them are good, hard-working, decent individuals, and then some of them are coming across as shady. That's like saying when the Italians came here initially, that Lucchese's and the Genovese's and the Bonanos and all that didn't come with these individuals at the time. There's a lot of good, hard-working, decent Italian people that came over, but there were some criminal bastards that came over too, that had some bad intent in their heart when they came here, and it showed up, and it showed. So basically, but everybody straightened them up on that. But came funny when it always comes to the vilification of us. I mean, there's no sympathy. There's no sympathy where that's concerned. So and and I also believe that a lot of our so-called, I want to tell you this too also, a lot of our so-called leftist friends out there and liberal friends, they're just as bigoted and racist and degenerate and evil as Donald Trump could ever be. Some of them are just, they're playing slick. I look at this, and I'm going to leave you in a little bit with it and give you this. They say keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I look at these people as being basically enemies to us. I look at these people as being basically enemies, and they've learned to basically keep your enemies closer. So basically, what they're doing, they're not our friends. They're basically our enemies, and they've learned to keep us close so they can control our movements, what we do, what we say, so they can manipulate us and destroy us. And that's what I believe. I believe these liberal leftists are not our friends. By no means, a long way from being our friends. So, you got to watch these people, and a lot of things are going on out there that ain't quite right. The way they flipped on Ice Cube, I don't even have to get into that. When he's trying to, when he was trying, and I think we should try to do what he's doing. He was basically shoring up his bets. Look, if y'all don't win, I'm going to, they put him off, and then he said, well, I'm going to go ahead and talk to Trump, trying to get everybody raise hell with him on that. I support Ice Cube. More power to him. I support him. Hope everything works out what he wants to do. And, but I really give you that to really think about. Joe Biden has a record. Joe Biden has a record. Joe Biden has a record of racism and bigotry. Joe Biden has a record of racism and bigotry. And he did it with the crime bill. What he said on the floor of the Senate sticks, they'll stand with me until the day I pull that lever. And basically, I understand people who don't want to vote. I just decided I'm going to vote, but I'm voting down ballot. And if I have to pull at the top, and if I think about pulling at the top, or that thing don't work with me, I'll pull it at the top. I'll pull down Donald Trump. I'll pull Democratic low ballot, and then I'll pull Donald Trump. I'm not pulling for Kamala Harris or that damnable racist, degenerate bigot, Joe the bigot Biden, Joe the hands Biden, the raping behind. No, I cannot. He's a rapist, a racist, and everything else. He's a scumbucket. He's an evil man. He's an evil man. And, yes, Kamala Harris, in fact, called him a rapist. She said, when he sat there and talked about that he believed he digitally raped that young lady. Kamala Harris said, yeah, I believe him. And I believe him. I believe the girl, too, that the way that footage from back in the day played out, yeah, I believe her. So, yeah, so the man's a raping racist and the hands and the kids, and it's a perv, and hands and the kids and the children. There's a lot that's wrong with this man. He's creepy. I think we all can agree. A lot of us who agree on that. For the people who just turn in a blind eye to his background, what he's like, what he does. How you can sit there and of course, he's a racketeer too. So there's 3 R's, right? A rapist, a racist, and a racketeer, because of what he's done with his son Hunter, and what he looks like a gangster. After a while, I'm gonna just have to call him the Democratic crime family. I'm gonna have to call him the Democratic crime family, otherwise known as Liberal Nostra. They call them Liberal Nostra, the Democratic crime family. Joe the Hands Biden is the head of it. Joey the Hands Biden is the head of it. But I'm about done here. No, I'm not supporting him. No, I don't support Kamala Harris. They're both horrible individuals. Kamala, the hoe Harris, Willie Brown's little side piece. I don't forget that one, a home wrecker. These people are too trifling, slimy. And don't tell me about Donald Trump. Don't form your lips to tell me about Donald Trump. I know Donald Trump's not the best guy. I know Donald Trump is an asshole. I think we all know Donald Trump can be an asshole. But that doesn't make him a lot of people are assholes. I know some people and been friends with people who are assholes. So basically, yeah. But this guy, he's actually done things to draw blood, to actually hurt us as a race, as a group of people. He's hurt us, and why blacks get behind this man. Evidently, a lot of black folks don't know his record, and don't want to know it. But I'm just putting this out there, and I guess I have no more to say. I might speak on something else later, but I do want to put this video out there. This little sound, well, this little audio. It's coming off like audio because I don't have the camera cut off. So basically, it's an audio. Excuse the sound again. Excuse the sound quality. And I think I said what all I needed to say about this this vile, contemptible bastard that puts himself off, poses as a human being and a decent person. You know, and any of y'all who want to, I don't know how any of you can sit down after what I just explained to you about this man. He set the those people who bust in that house. A lot of it, that culture was already set. Those guys that bust in there, slaughtered Breonna Taylor, shot at her boyfriend trying to kill him. The die was already, yeah, that Joe Biden with the crime bill, the telling the cops that we're predators and we're going to come in and we're going to kill and we're going to this and then just say all this evil stuff about us. Nobody had a problem telling him, well, come on, don't speak about blacks like that. Come on, Joe. Nobody didn't do that to him back then. Nobody that'll look at that today and won't say nothing and don't want to hold this man to what he said. But they want to sit down and talk about that damn bullshit about him, what Donald Trump said where the Mexicans were concerned. But they don't want to hold him to that speech he gave back then. That's hypocritical. That's bullshit hypocritical. I'm telling you, you don't really give a shit about black people. Only thing you give a damn is about your little political agenda and the little goodies that quote y'all going to get out of it. Your little white liberals are going to get out of it. We can go hang as usual. Black people can go hang. So for the white liberals, up yours with an iron dildo and a steel French tickler. That's what I have to say to you. The hell with you. And knowing you sick bastards, you probably enjoy it. A lot of you. I just can't. You know, how you dare wiggle your finger to condemn us, to condemn black people, anybody who wings their fingers to condemn us. After what this man put us through, you're out of your rabbit ass mind. You know, this man set the culture for this. So any of y'all sit there and foam your mouth to cry about or say something about Breonna Taylor. The culture was set. The men that bust in there and killed her, that mentality and mindset and culture was set with Joe Biden when he hired their commanders and whatever years ago. That culture was set. So don't get up here now and act like shit. Oh, Donald Trump kicked this off over there. Why he wouldn't slaughter Breonna? Because the mentality of the peace police now and Donald Trump. No, it's not that. This was set. This die was cast when we first arrived here in this country and changed, and was further back and pushed along in 1994 to the time they kicked down the door and slaughtered Breonna Taylor and tried to wipe out her boyfriend and murder him. So basically, don't act like this is something new with Donald Trump. You know, you can forget that. And like I said, I'm not in love with Donald Trump. Not in love with the man, but you know, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, you know, oh man, racism, this is something new. No, it's old. It's old. It's been around since this country started, and I'm not going to act like it's new. And I'm not going to turn my back on a man who supercharged it and made it worse than Donald Trump could have ever made it, and pass on his ass. And you're going to have me want to support somebody who did this to us? No. You're basically telling me to kick myself. As a black person, you're telling me to kick myself. And hell if I'm going to do that. So, you know, you think about what you're doing. I'm not going to think about mine. So right now, about to end this video. Don't know what you're going to make of it. But again, excuse the sound quality. It's as one guy could say, it's janky equipment. He went out for it better, but I just had to get my voice out and get my voice heard. Okay, well, wherever this video finds you, whatever part of the day, may you have a good one. And for those of you who got cursing me out right now, well, the same to you. All right. Well, I'm basically out right now. Okay.